1 year ago, al-Shabab militants staged a daring raid in el-Adde, a town in Somalia, leaving behind hundreds of soldiers dead. The strike by the ragtag militia was the worst military blow on Kenyan defense forces on foreign soil. 1 year later, though, more soldiers died again in yet another attack on their military camp. Dennis Onsarigo from KTN News Crime and Investigations Desk with the nagging questions on the latest attack.
Families of fallen soldiers going through another period of mourning, as many other families have done in the past 6 years since KDF went into Somalia.
Well, my sister.
The latest attack left more than 50 soldiers dead in a deadly gunfight. Al-Shabab militants rammed 2 suicide car bombs into the Kenyan military base in Kulibio in the lower Juba in a surprise attack, one that mirrors another one exactly 1 year ago. Hundreds of al-Shabab fighters staged a daring dawn attack in el-Adde in January last year, leaving more than 150 Kenyan Defense Forces soldiers dead, the biggest military setback on Kenyan troops on foreign soil. The Department of Defense that has downplayed the latest deadly attack claims only 9 military personnel were killed. Questions are now being raised about the safety and role of Kenyan Defense Forces in Somalia.
It does require more than troops on the ground. And as I said, even the troops who are on the ground at the moment, they are sitting ducks. They are all in camps. They are protecting towns.
Security and political pundits point to an African peacekeeping mission force that has failed to capture the hearts and minds of those they are meant to protect, the Somali population.
22,000 strong AMISOM peacekeeping force, combined with almost 15,000 Somali army forces, failed to defeat our village boys, between 5,000 to 7,000.
Back home, the pronounced silence from the government in the face of the heavy setback continues to raise questions. Days after the deadly attack in el-Adde, the government promised to launch an inquiry into the attack, but it appears nothing came of it.
I have constituted a board of inquiry, which is already at the moment in el-Adde.
Lessons were not learned. Kenyan security personnel have suffered a similar attack 1 year later. When terrorists attacked the Westgate shopping mall, the government once again promised to launch a probe into the deadly attack. It was just that, a promise. The Kenyan military is praised for a well-oiled intelligence unit, the military intelligence, or the MI, but how the intelligence system failed to notice an impending attack has left more questions than answers. During the el-Adde attack, the military intelligence was once again accused of failing to detect in advance the enemy's well-planned attack on KDF soldiers. Images from the scene of the el-Adde attack painted a picture of an ill-equipped military base, one that was an open battlefront. The army commander was captured alive. The latest fiasco saw an entire platoon retreat, leaving many military personnel exposed to enemy fire.
Confusing people that Somalis don't like the Kenya troops. That's not true. There are some Somalis who don't like the Kenya troops, and there are some Somalis who welcome the Somali troops. It's all clannish and tribal. When the Kenya troops went into Somalia, it just happened that there were some chaps who were in control, and therefore the belief against those opposed to those guys in control was that these guys were coming to support that administration which they did not support. And that lingers on up to today.
The number of those killed in the latest attack is still unclear, with the Department of Defense maintaining it only lost 9 soldiers. It appears the long drawn-out war against al-Shabab has just begun. Dennis Onsarigo, KTN Prime.